Intellidance here. Today I would love to teach you the story of the Shoemaker elf. This is an action story, so whenever I do an action, can you follow along? Are you ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, in the enchanted forest, can you stretch some big arms to make trees? Great job. There lived a very small elf. The elf loved to sing la 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 la. The elf loved to dance do 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 do. The elf loved to go galloping, 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 galloping through the forest. But the small elf's most favorite thing to do was to make some very small shoes. To make these shoes, the elf would wind some thread and wind some thread, wind some thread and wind some thread, pull some cloth, hammer in the heels. He'd wind some thread and wind some thread, wind some thread and wind some thread, pull some cloth, hammer in the heels. Making shoes made the elf very happy. Cheese! One day, the small elf was galloping, 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 galloping when suddenly a big giant appeared. The giant picked up the elf and went stomp, 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 stomp all the way home to his castle. The big giant said, "Oh, please, 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 small elf, will you make me some big shoes?" And the small elf said, "Oh, yes, 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 giant, I will make you some big shoes." So the elf got to work, but he realized very quickly his small elf arms were too small to make giant shoes. He had to use his legs instead. So he wound some thread and wound some thread, wound some thread and wound some thread, pulled some cloth, stomped in the heels. He wound some thread and wound some thread, wound some thread and wound some thread, pulled some cloth, stomped in the heels. Phew! That was hard work for a small little elf. When he was done, the small elf called in his small, quiet voice, "Oh, giant, I have finished your shoes." But his voice was too small and quiet. The giant couldn't hear him. So the elf called in a little bit louder voice, "Oh, giant, I have finished your shoes." But his voice was still too quiet. Do you think we can help the elf call the giant? Let's call in our loud, big voices. "Oh, giant, we have finished your shoes." The giant heard that. He came in and put on one big shoe, and another big shoe, and the giant went stomp, 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 stomp all around his castle. The big giant said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, small elf. I love my big shoes." And the small elf went galloping, 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 galloping all the way home. And he was very happy. Cheese! The end. Well, now that we've learned the story of the Shoemaker elf, let's turn it into a dance. Friends, in our dance, sometimes we're going to be like the Shoemaker elf, hammering our hammers on different body parts to the beat. When you hear me make some small shoes, we'll use our arms to make the small shoes like the elf in the story. If you hear me say, make big giant shoes, we'll use our big legs to make big giant shoes. After we've made those shoes, let's try different ways we can move our bodies, big and small, around the space. Make sure you have somewhere safe to move your body. Let's turn on our listening ears. Click! Listening for the beat in the music and my instructions. Let's turn on our watching eyes. Click! If you're not sure what to do, copy me and use your watching eyes so you can move safely in the space. Here we go. Do you hear the hammers, friends? I do. Let's clap that beat with our small hammer hands. Our small hammer hands. Why don't we put that beat on our nose? Small little nose, small little nose. Can we tap that beat on our small little toes? Small little toes, small little toes. Let's stand up tall and make some small elf shoes. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, hammer in the heels. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, hammer in the heels. What's a small way your body can move with small shoes? I'm gonna try small little tiptoes all through the forest. Small little tiptoes all around the room, like the small little elf in his small little shoes. Oh, I see small little steps. Let's get out our big hammers. Can you pat that big beat on your legs? Great big hammer on those legs. Let's try our hips. Big hammer hips. Oh, so big with our big hammer hips. How a big hammer head. Big hammer head. Let's use our legs to make giant shoes. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, stomp in the heels. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, stomp in the heels. Put on your big giant shoes. How are you going to dance with a big body around the room? I'm going to march with great big feet. March to the beat. Boom, boom, boom. All around the room like the big friendly giant. Big stomping feet to that beat. Let's come back together. Let's find that beat. We hammer with our hands. Let's make some shoes. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, hammer in the heels. We wind the thread and wind the thread, wind the thread and wind the thread. Pull the cloth, hammer in the heels. These are your dancing shoes. Put them on. How do you want to dance around the room? Show me. I'm going to try skipping. That's a fun way to dance in my shoes. Maybe I can turn in my shoes with big stretching arms. Maybe I have small shoes and I roll really small all around the room. I see you dancing